There is more to me, Queen Eliara of Elfgard, than my elven magic. Just as there's more to Geico than saving you money, Geico also gives you 24/7 access to licensed agents online, on the phone, or on the Geico app. And while I am a mighty elf queen, I am also a mighty big fan of barbecue potato chips. Minions! More smoky mesquite.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go, New York, go, New York, go!
Hey, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 294. If you're here for Knicks news, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you're here for playoff talk, you're probably going to enjoy the show.
If you're here for insight on the playoffs, you're probably going to be disappointed.
That too.
We are recording on Monday night instead of Sunday night because last night, little Jay had a cold. How your cold doing?
Not great. I'm I am taking medication for a sore throat that will not go away.
Doesn't it always feel like you have a cold that really knocks you out, but you're always like, oh, what was wrong? I had a cold. And people are like, oh, you had a cold. That's why you couldn't come into work, or you can't do this. You have a cold. It always sounds a little like weak.
It does. But I've had a sore throat since Thursday, and it's now Monday night, so I think it might be more than a cold.
But wouldn't it be better like, oh, why couldn't you come in yesterday? Stage 3 cancer. Oh. I'm over it now.
Yeah, I got better.
Okay, cool. I fought that motherfucking stage 3 shit off.
Yeah, I like to at least make like it's really bad. Although man colds are much worse than women colds anyway.
Well, you have to also add stuff into it. Like, I have a cold. Well, the sore throat was really sore, and I was sneezing. I must have sneezed so many times. Okay, instead of doing the break, let's talk about the playoffs. Knicks, you're updated already. What's going on in the playoffs? Since our last show, the Nets said, "Hey, Hawks, we're not going to compete anymore. We're done."
Yeah, I don't know how they won 2 games and then look like that at the end of the series.
We won 2 games. We're really tired. How can we have to win 4 games here?
I don't really have much else to say for that series. That was a kind of a lame series.
You know what the good thing about the Nets? Because they're like new to Brooklyn, they don't really have a lot of diehard fans who would want to slit their wrist after watching them play in the playoffs and knowing they have no future. Yeah,
I mean, they really look good in games 3 and 4 at home, so I guess they just don't like playing in front of a crowd.
Deron Williams was like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm really good for 1 game, and now I'm done."
Give me $20 million.
Yeah. So that series is over. The other series that looked like it could be interesting was the Bucks Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I turned that on for a game. Was it game 6? I turned it on the second quarter. The Bucks were down by 1 million. It literally was 1 million points they were down by in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous.
So that wasn't really close. So anyhow, we and nothing else. Oh, and then the Spurs lost to the Clippers, and I was wrong about who's going to win the title.
Yeah, it was one of the best series that I can remember. I just hate seeing a series decided on a flop call.
Chris Paul played amazing.
He did. He was.
I'm
really
done
nice.
with the comparing Carmelo's playoff success to Chris Paul. Chris Paul has finally beaten Carmelo.
Yeah, I mean he was basically playing on one leg and he was still killing everybody.
Yeah. So if same situation, Melo playing on one leg, what would have happened?
He would have went to the locker room to rest his boo-boos.
He would have been 3 for 30, and people were like, well, he still played, and having a Melo that can't hit a shot and who's basically disabled is better than putting whoever else the Knicks have.
You're right. That's exactly what would have happened.
And we played all 48 damn minutes.
You know how we know? Because it's happened already.
But I was really impressed with Chris Paul, who was noticeably limping the entire time he was out there. And he hit the last second shot to win the game.
And it also saved me time because I don't like the Clippers or the Rockets, so now I don't have to watch an entire series.
It's going to be a good series. So should we make second round predictions?
Sure.
Sure, why not? Clippers, Rockets. Clippers maybe without Chris Paul. Oh, by the way, right now Chicago is beating the crap out of Cleveland.
Excellent. What's the score?
70-57.
Perfect.
Though Mozgov just had a big dunk. Oh, Moz. I miss you.
Chris Paul is definitely out for game 1.
So you have to think without Chris Paul, they're losing game 1.
Yeah. I think Rockets are going to win in 6.
I think this is Rockets series because Chris Paul is going to be injured for out the first game and probably not exactly healthy the second game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's going to put the Rockers, I'll say the Rockets 6 games.
Okay.
I'm going to say exactly what you said 30 seconds ago. Next series, we got Golden State versus Memphis, who Golden State's already won a game.
And Conley was out.
Yes. Is Conley coming back?
He is supposed to be coming back game 2, but we're not positive yet.
Does it even matter? Do you think with Conley, are they going to beat Golden State?
I think the game will actually be competitive. I would say Golden State in 6.
I'm going to say Golden State in 5. Golden State's looking really good. I'm starting to think they're going to the finals.
Yeah.
Especially now that the Spurs are not there. I mean, the Golden State has not been tested, though. They played New Orleans, who was by far the worst team in the playoffs. And now they've beaten,
in the West.
Yes, in the West. Not in the playoffs,
I was
right?
like, whoa, slow down there.
They would probably be competing with Cleveland right now to go to the finals in the East. And what was I going to say?
I don't know. Were you moving on to the next round?
I don't know what I was moving on to. So I'd say Golden State. Cleveland versus the Bulls. What do you think?
Bulls in 6.
It's hard. I feel like if they go 7, Cleveland will pull it out. Mm-hmm. But it's tough. They're missing Kevin Love, and they're benefiting by J.R. Smith not playing.
Yeah, you know J.R. is just drinking during his time off, so he's going to be hungover for game 3.
I'm pretty sure J.R. has no idea the game's even going on right now. He's found some club to hang out in, and he's good.
Yeah.
He flew to New York for his time off.
That's the problem now that they're missing 2 guys. They're dusting off James Jones and Mike Miller. For some reason,
they don't really have much of a bench.
For some reason, they still refuse to play Sean Marion. James Jones is throwing up air balls.
Are you gonna write them a letter?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Marion he's a golden god. Why are you not playing him?
Get a future Hall of Famer on the team.
Guaranteed first ballot if I have a vote. Marion must be really done. Yeah. Why are they not playing him? I don't understand that at all.
He looked pretty done last time.
I forgot they even had him.
Yeah.
So they're I have to say the Bulls are going to win the series.
Yeah.
I will say Bulls in 6. No one else has said that in the last 30 seconds. And last series, the Nets versus the Hawks versus Wizards. Wizards took game 1. What do you think?
Wizards in 6.
I'm going to say the Wizards in 6. I'm going to say everything Jay says right after him. I'm going to say the Hawks pulled us out in 7.
If the Hawks lose in the second round, it would be like different regular season, same old Hawks playoffs team.
Guys, we made it to the second round, the promised land. We will have a parade in Atlanta. We have a lot of questions this week.
I don't think they're beating the Wizards.
In Knicks news, Bino Udre said that Marc Gasol is not coming to the Knicks because he does not like New York drama, or does not want drama. And then Udre said he was underutilized in New York.
No duh on both of those.
And then he pulled his balls out and put his balls out on New York on a map and put it on Instagram. Okay, let's go to the questions.
Yeah, we only have 75 today.
Do you want to let me read our reactions to? Let me start off with I posted today on Facebook to let people know we recording tonight instead of last night. You want to hear the reactions?
Sure. And as you could hear, I could barely talk today, so you can imagine what I sounded like yesterday.
Yeah, Jay, bring some goddamn energy. What do you have, a cold? Iberdog writes, is it true Charles Oakley isn't allowed to buy a ticket for a Knicks game? Totally on topic.
I wouldn't be surprised.
William writes, Marc and Jay, you are fired. The one good thing you guys do to bring joy to humanity, you guys don't do. I expect this from the Brink Show. Pull this stunt on that show. But Knicks podcast, no. Your producers and sponsors won't be happy. SMH, of course. I'm kidding, guys. Ha 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 ha. Just bummed out. Usually listen to this at work. Oh well, too bad. Marc and Jay actually have lives. Read my comment on the show, please. And we don't have lives. It's just Jay was sick. He had a cold.
What do you only work on Mondays? Like you can listen to work tomorrow.
Maybe William has lots of money. He only has to go to work once a week. He's like, God damn it! I'll have to listen to double episodes next Monday. Rosario writes, "Are you effing with me? What do I pay you guys for? LOL. Just kidding." And Grant writes, "LOL. SM never mind." I don't even mind the LOLs. SMH I really hate still. I can't even get comfortable with that one. And Gillem writes SMH because everyone likes SMH.
Well,
it is seriously whatever. I'm not going to go on a rant about SMH, but I would respond to SMH. Grant writes, you took the words right out of my mouth like Meatloaf. Is there another one that you can use besides SMH?
Don't start. Don't get everyone started.
RME, rolling my eyes. Steve writes, would I... That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's never been a thing. I think you just invented something.
I think I did. I'm going to start seeing Stephen A. Smith being like, RME.
I'm going to start using that and just not tell anybody what it is.
Steve writes, at least that's a real one. People actually roll their eyes in real life.
Right.
Steve writes, would I be as annoyed with the amount of days in between games if the Knicks were playing in the postseason? Possibly, actually. Even though I might fly by more so when we are in it. These are just reactions to our not through the show, by the way.
There's less days off in the second round now. They're back to every other day. So I guess they're starting to learn. They're only stretching out the first round. Ever.
Liam writes, no wonder Marc Gasol don't want to come here. Knicks drama. Marc and Jay not doing podcasts on time. Freaking anarchists.
Jeez.
Liam also writes, I smell a conspiracy theory about to brew. It's Monday and the Knicks have podcast is canceled. A little too much of a coincidence, huh? Do the Jews have something to do with this? Not why ask why not. Find out the truth here at InfoWars.
That's a joke for our Brink of Sanity podcast. We make fun of InfoWars.
Both of you who listen to that show probably got the joke.
It's on iTunes. You guys can download that Brink of Sanity. You could search for that, or you could go to brinkofsanityshow.com.
Liam writes, typical Knicks podcast. These two are so irresponsible. What example are they showing their children? What great role models? See, this is what is wrong in this country. I will apologize to my kids.
That is actually a comment on our iTunes where what's wrong with this country. All right. We're back. Although I cut out the part where we left, so we didn't really need to do that.
I wish the NBA would do that.
Yeah.
Someone asked on also on Facebook if we could have a meetup for the lottery night. Jay, why can we not have a meetup for the lottery night?
That is the night of my finals. So not only am I going to take the hardest finals of my entire life, it's going to be during the one maybe good Knicks moment in the last 5 years.
I think Jay should drop out and just watch Come to This instead. Everyone else start writing letters to Jay and telling him to drop out of school. School's kind of worthless. Okay, what are the questions we have on Twitter, Facebook, and all the other questions we have, whatever.
We have an email from Steven.
What about Pinterest? You gonna read the questions for Pinterest first?
You're really pushing for Pinterest, huh?
I really am. What's going on with the Instagram?
Instagram. I don't think we got any questions this week.
Animals with Knicks jerseys. Where are you on that?
Actually, no, we did get a question on Instagram. I got to go get my phone.
Oh, you really?
Yeah. Steven writes, I know it's summertime after a long, shitty season, but I'd really like the Knicks podcast to continue. I have some ideas. History of the Knicks franchise. How you and Mark first got into basketball in the New York Knicks.
You want to answer these as you read them?
And do our entire summer lineup of shows right now.
Well, we can just do them real quick. History of the Knicks. When God created the world, he created disappointment, and people said, "What's disappointment?" Here are the Knicks.
You'll find out from 1974 through the rest of basketball.
How did we meet? We met at a gay porn site.
That wasn't even a question.
What was the question?
How we
I wasn't listening, really.
How we first got into basketball in the Knicks.
We both grew up in New York. The Knicks are in New York.
My dad used to watch the playoffs, and when I first started watching, it was always Lakers-Celtics in the finals, and that was super exciting. So that got me into basketball.
I liked playing basketball, so I started watching it.
All right.
Yeah, the Knicks were good in the 90s. More importantly, the Bulls are beating Cleveland right now.
Yes.
I've never wanted to root for the Bulls, but now I do.
What is the best? Should we do all these? There's no.
We can just do them really quick. Are we going to do a whole summer about his email?
No, I think we should pepper these in because
just go. We'll do it real quick.
We have like 65 Facebook
Come on.
questions. What were the best years to be a fan?
1973 and 74. Go on.
In my lifetime, 93 through 99.
Yeah, I would agree with that. 70 to 73 though, I would agree with the best time actually.
Yeah. I didn't realize they almost won the finals in 72 as well.
That really was a good time.
Yeah. Worst years to be a fan, I would, even though this was the worst season ever, I would still say the Eddie Curry years were the worst.
This is pretty bad, Jay.
It was pretty bad. Maybe this year, yeah. This year is probably on par with the Eddie Curry years.
The last 2 years have been horrendous. Go on.
I think I'm like already in denial about the last 2 years. Formative basketball memories.
You know what? Actually, here's what it was. You remember Linsanity?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So any time that wasn't Linsanity was part of the worst time ever.
In the last 8 years.
The last 10 years, basically, the only time that wasn't Linsanity. Besides those 10 games, it's been awful.
That was only 6 weeks out of that entire season too.
The 54-win season was pretty good, also.
Great. Formative basketball memories.
We can go on to the next question.
I mean, when I said I started with the Lakers Celtics, I did, but I was 8, so it didn't really sink in. I think I really started watching around 1990, which was
Bad Boys.
Yeah, it was Bad Boys Pistons, and that was when the Bulls were about to break. So that was a good time.
I remember watching a lot of Lakers because they were always they were really good when we were really young.
Mm-hmm. History of Dolan's stupid decisions and commentary on all of them. That one we're gonna have to go back to because there's a lot.
You don't think we're gonna do an entire retrospective on Dolan?
Whether Dolan is better or worse than the
Wait, I can got one. Okay. This is Dolan, his dad, right? Honey, let's not use a condom tonight. Nah, that's unfair.
No, I mean him being born isn't a mistake.
No.
Giving him the team was the worst. Couldn't you have just given him the company? Here's Cablevision. I'm gonna not give you the Knicks.
Or here are the Knicks, and as a family, we should step back and just watch. Be a fan, not an owner.
Yeah.
Be an owner, not a GM.
Whether Dolan is better or worse than the batshit Kings owner. So far, he's worse, but there's still time. The Kings owner's new. We'll see if he ends up trading Cousins and other crazy things. I mean, firing a coach in the middle of the season just to get George Karl to get enough wins to not get a good draft pick was really stupid.
Whatever. They have neither team has really proven anything yet. How crazy they could be. Whatever.
Top 10 Knicks players of all time.
This is a long question, huh?
That's why I said we should pepper it in. But you know,
Let's read the. Okay. Patrick Ewing, Willis Reed, and 8 other guys. Go on.
That's another one we could take time with over the summer. As a fan of the podcast, I'm on the outside looking in. I'm a Canadian Raptors fan. Sorry about that.
Okay. Did he say he's a Canadian rapper or a Canadian Raptors fan?
Raptors fan.
Because I would have really enjoyed Canadian rapper.
Yeah.
We have 1,000 more questions. I hope they're all as long as this.
Well, this is why you should listen to me once in a while. Let's go back to Facebook because I don't have my phone near me for the Instagram question.
Okay, Instagram followers. Jay doesn't think very highly of you anymore.
I didn't say I wasn't going to get to it.
You should unfollow him right now.
You're such a pain in the ass. Are you going to read the Facebook questions?
I thought we have Twitter questions.
I don't know. I'm logged into the Brink of Sanity Twitter questions right now.
Why are you on the Brink of Sanity Twitter questions?
Because we rarely get them, so I stare at them when we do.
We got a question for Brink? Okay, well, you're logging in to Twitter. If you could log into the show we're actually doing, I'll start with Facebook questions.
We got no questions.
From Twitter for Knicks?
From Twitter. We're at NY Knicks Podcast on Twitter. Our Twitter action was just me and a bunch of other people exchanging links to the Manny Pacquiao fight.
Sweet. Were you able to watch that?
Yeah.
You found a link to watch it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a link to watch that shit. Yeah. How was it?
Terrible. Well, I'm sure we got
everyone says it's a terrible fight. I'm like, I'm glad I just went to bed.
Yeah.
Because apparently Pacquiao went to bed also. Then they said like Pacquiao didn't do anything?
No, that's not true. We got a bunch of questions on it. We'll get to it.
Give me your analysis of Pacquiao.
I thought he was attacking, but it didn't look like he was really doing any damage. He would throw a flurry of punches of like say 12 punches, and like 8 of them would hit Mayweather's forearms. He'd land like 1 or 2, and then Mayweather, he was being such a dick. He would just shake his head and go nope. Every time he got punched, he'd just be like nope. And
I think if your opponent goes nope when you punch him, that punch doesn't really count.
Yeah, well, the thing was Mayweather was just kind of backing up and making Pacquiao chase him. And,
you know what? Catch him and hit him.
But the thing is with boxing, you could back up and like jab while you're backing up, and if those jabs connect, even though they're not doing any damage, you get points for those. And so he was scoring points doing that, but he wasn't doing any damage to Manny either. So basically, neither guy did damage to either guy, and it was just it was pretty lame.
Wow, boxing's awesome.
Yeah, this is why you should watch UFC instead.
Rosario writes, LeBron must fall, and LeBron is down by 6 points right now. So maybe that'll happen.
I don't like that. Last time you checked in, they were down by like 12.
Yeah, it's been changing, actually. Shumpert did something good. We were featuring him. Rosero writes, can Jay post pictures of his hot Asian girlfriend, please? And William writes, in her panties, please. George posts a picture of some girl in a bikini who I don't think looks Asian.
I will post another picture of my girlfriend on Instagram, but it will not be in her panties.
Greg writes, thoughts on the Clippers sour Game 7.
NY Knicks podcast on
Clippers sours Game 7? What?
Spurs. It's supposed to be Spurs.
How do you know it's supposed to be Spurs?
Because SOURS
are you in Greg's mind?
Is one letter off from SPURS.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we already gave our thoughts on it. That was pretty cool. Like it's at least that now we know San Antonio's not going to be in the finals. In the sense of like something different is going to happen this year.
It was a great series. I would have liked to have seen San Antonio make one more run. It's a shame that was the first round because both of those teams deserve to go further in the playoffs.
That could be the best series of the entire playoffs.
I'm also annoyed because now Paul's injured, so like I feel like they won and they're just going to lose the next round because they're shorthanded.
Yeah, so like you think that winning that should get them to the finals. Greg writes, Derrick Rose interview, Kevin Love, Olnick scuffle, thoughts. Can we get Landry Fields back?
Do we want Landry Fields back?
Why in the world we want Landry Fields back?
He couldn't even crack the rotation of that terrible Toronto team that got swept in the first round.
You couldn't crack the rotation on the YMCA league team. Kevin Love, Olnick scuffle. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
It looked like he yanked his arm, but Celtics fans are saying like that's Olenek he's never been dirty in the 2 years he's been in the NBA, so it's kind of a tough call.
It did look like he yanked the arm, but maybe the fact that it happened so fast, like in slow motion, it looks terrible, but in when it happens really fast, he was just trying to get him away. He was just trying to get him away, keep him away from the ball. He wasn't trying to actually injure him.
Right, maybe he was trying to pull his whole body away from the ball.
You grab onto whatever you can grab on and pull the guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. Love waited 6 years to make the playoffs, and then he plays like one game.
Yeah, I guess I don't think it was. I don't think there was any. I think he only should be suspended for that. I guess, but I don't. Was he was suspended, right?
One game.
Yeah, but I don't think he had any ill intention.
Right.
Hey Jay, there's a commercial going on, so I can talk to you really quickly. I'm trying to beat the Bull. Not the Bulls. I'm trying to beat my own team. I'm trying to beat Cleveland. Okay? Because I beat Cleveland. They say I can get a new contract.
Oh, another max contract?
Max deal, yeah. Max deal. I got my max deal. And anyway, I want to give a shout out to Kevin Love. Congrats, Kevin Love. Cleveland's still in the playoffs, and you don't have to play. That's amazing. Go you, Kevin.
Are you jealous of the Spurs too?
I've actually called up Olnick and I asked him if he could pull my arm out. Olnick, just come on. Could you just wear a Cleveland jersey and pull my arm out? That'd be amazing.
You guys are only up by 4 now. Can you go back into the game and score some points?
Do I have to do everything here? It's like no one on this team could score. Oh, okay, guys. I'm gonna score now, but you can't expect me to do this every night, or based on the NBA playoffs, you can't expect me to do this once a week when we play once a week.
Well, just beat the Cavs, and then everyone will be fine with you losing to the Wizards in the next round.
Ooh, sounds good. Is anyone on the Wizards going to injure me? I would love that.
Paul Pierce might.
Okay, Paul. I'll say, hey, Paul, you seem like a nice guy.
Actually, you know what? Nene's a huge dude. You should probably piss him off.
Hey, Nene, you look like a man that likes to have sex with other men. Here's my arm. Pull it. Greg writes, predictions for the semis.
I did that.
Greg writes, what are the chances that we can steal Aldridge from Portland?
0.
Do you think Portland will let him go?
Yes.
Or trade?
No. I think they're going to try and keep him, but I think he's going to leave. But he is a Texas native, and the Spurs want him. So we could end the conversation going to the Knicks right there.
Do I want to play with the smartest franchise in the entire league or a bunch of yokels? Smart. Not yokel. I guess bunch of idiots. Ooh, this is tough.
And then even if he doesn't go to the Spurs, the Mavs want him. And that's still...
Actually, we have we actually did an interview with LaMarcus Aldridge. Do you want to cut to it where you ask him if he's going to come to the Knicks?
Sure. Hey, LaMarcus, first time on the show. Thanks for joining us.
I'm excited to be here. This is the podcast for the Knicks?
Yeah. It's the number 1 Knicks podcast on iTunes, even though we can't get any real guests anyway.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. So, word is that the Knicks really want you to come on the team. Were you reading something funny, or were you watching season 5 of The Simpsons? So you going to the Spurs?
my friend bet me like $20 I won't come on the show. Anyway, Knicks. Oh my god, I can't believe you guys do a podcast for this team. Oh my god. Anyway, are you gonna root for me on the Spurs next year?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. See you guys later.
All right, thanks.
I'm a dog writes. Greg writes. I'm a dog writes. I want the Clippers to win the chip. Imagine Kobe sitting home watching them win.
I don't like the Clippers at all.
Do you wish they had their old racist owner back?
No, but I do wish they had a mini cam in the corner that showed Steve Ballmer at all times. Did you see? He was crying. He was like covering his face. He was all red. It was every time they showed him, it was the funniest thing.
I'm a dog writes. Sorry, Greg writes. Did Mayweather win in your book?
He did, but it's he's like, I put him and James Harden in the same category. What they do is they kind of exploit the current rules, and they do it very, very well. It may not be fun to watch, but they're good at what they do.
Jay, if you were a boxer, would you want to get hit?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly how Mayweather feels.
Right, but if I was watching boxing, I would want to watch people get hit. Just because he's good at it doesn't mean I want to watch it.
He's good at it. That's how you box, I guess. This is why non-heavyweight boxing sucks.
But this is why the rules suck. All you have to do is touch the guy.
I don't even know how it's scored. I thought just guys just watch it and then they make up scores.
No, they go by the amount of hits, and I think percentage falls into it too. So like I said, if you're backing up and jabbing and you're barely grazing the guy's head, but you're making contact, you're getting points.
Pacquiao might have wanted to say hit him a couple more times if he wanted to win the fight. Go for a knockout. Try to punch the guy's lights out.
Mayweather has really, really good defense, but the way he does it, he jabs to get just ahead enough, and then he defends the rest of the fight, and it's not fun to watch. He's great at it, but it's not fun to watch.
I saw a great clip. Someone posted on Facebook. I don't know who Ali was fighting, but Muhammad Ali was he's in the corner, and this guy throws 20 punches. Ali moves around. He lands not a single punch. Ali's basically laughing at the end.
He was the best.
Yeah,
even though Mayweather said he's better than Ali.
Who's better than Ali?
Mayweather said that he's better than Ali.
Oh, okay, well, whatever. He got $100 million for this fight, by the way.
Yeah, maybe that's why he was didn't really care about getting a knockout.
By the way, 2-point game.
Oh God, Cleveland!
Come on, why can't Cleveland just lose? I
don't want JR to be happy.
Greg writes, Spurs got eliminated already. Thoughts? They were effed on the final play.
Oh
Pop
yeah,
was
we
very furious.
didn't even mention that.
Jay, mention away.
Did you watch it?
I did not see that play.
Oh, well, it was the final play of the game. There was 1 second left. The Spurs have the ball, down by, I believe, a point, or 2 points. And they're about to throw the inbounds play, and there's an inadvertent whistle, which basically just let the Clippers see what their play was. And so they didn't have enough time to do another play, so the Clippers knew exactly what they were going to do. Oh, by the way, Kawhi was wide open running to the net.
Oh, I saw. Didn't he didn't he go for a layup? I mean, they tried to throw an alley oop to him.
Right, the second time after the Clips knew that that's what their plan was. Before that inadvertent buzzer, he was running to the net and he was open, but then they had to reset, and then the Clippers knew exactly what they were going to do.
You know what? You know what I think about other teams getting screwed besides the Knicks? I don't really care that much. Are you really infuriated? You're like, God damn it, or you're like, whatever.
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed. I think the Spurs advancing is a much better story than the Clips advancing.
Well, now with Chris Paul out for the first game, it's not a very good story.
No, not at all.
Greg writes, can you guys interpret this photo? The photo is what looks like a yacht on fire, and we have Spike Lee sitting at the front of the yacht, Phil Jackson and Carmelo jumping off the burning yacht.
James Dolan singing in the fire.
Grant writes, can I take a crack at it? Dolan's microphone short-circuited, causing a Titanic-like disaster known as the Knicks. Only the people with brains escaped the disaster. LOL.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It looks like Kanye is just standing in the fire with the flotation device on.
I like how Phil is doing more of like a scissor dive.
Yeah, he's going out in style.
Yeah, he's like just gonna be like, I'm not gonna do a regular dive. I'm doing a scissor kick here. Greg writes, thoughts on Oakley questions Carmelo's superstar status. Why? What is the need to do this?
Because he's bored and he's not been talked about in a while.
I just don't understand, like, what is your need to, like, come out there? Like, I love Charles Oakley, but why you have to go and go, hey, just want to let you guys go. I don't think much of Carmelo. Oh, you guys want to print this? It's on the record. Come on. What's the big deal? Why don't you just go, hey, a Nick then, a Nick for life, and I'm not going to rip on the team now.
Yeah. Whatever. All right, move on.
No, I want to spend a lot of time on this non-story. Craig writes, Knicks or not? So we're playing the game again. Matt Barnes.
Well, yeah, I say that like every episode.
Steven Jackson.
No.
I'd say no. Isaiah Thomas.
Coach.
Not a player. Tim, I wish it was the other way around. Tim Thomas.
Yes.
Yes. Hubert Davis.
Yes.
Charles Xavier.
The X-Man.
Yes. Tristan writes, why don't you give us like harder ones? Greg, next week you have to really challenge us with these. Tristan writes, you should have a special draft episode where you look at all the players that Knicks have drafted in their history. Maybe start in the 80s.
Yeah, we could do that over the summer.
Leonard writes,
you know, if you put any other comic character other than like Clark Kent or Charles Xavier, Mark won't get it. As we found out with Deadpool. So, you know, put in like Beast or Iceman's real name. Mark definitely won't get that.
Was one of these guys...
Yeah, Charles Xavier is Professor X. You didn't get that?
No, I had no idea who it was.
You thought it was Xavier McDaniel?
I was thinking of Xavier McDaniel. That's what I was thinking of.
I said the X-Man to throw you off. I didn't know it really worked.
Oh, it really threw me off. I was just like, I'm just tired, as always.
I love how he always throws in a comic character and it gets you every time. How did you not know Charles Xavier?
You know how I didn't? This is how I didn't. I drank only 1 cup of coffee today. I normally drink 3 to 4 cups of coffee on a day. I'm trying to cut back. I'm very tired.
Okay.
The next one's going to be Batman. Oh, yeah. He played for the Knicks. I was thinking Xavier McDaniel. I just heard Xavier, and I was just like, oh, my God. So I guess, actually, Greg, you got me because I'm an idiot. So special draft episode, that's a good idea. Leonard writes, if the Knicks fall out of the top 2 in the draft, there are reports the Knicks would aggressively look to trade that pick. In your opinion, what would be an acceptable trade if that happens? I want that trade to involve trading Phil Jackson as well, because if he trades if he trades his draft pick, I don't want him on the team anymore.
If we get, say, a number 3, the only way I'd want to do a trade is if we get number 5 or 6 and a player.
I would trade the number 3 pick for the number 2 pick.
Okay, I mean, like we could still get somebody like Winslow.
Yeah, no, I agree. If you're moving back 1 or 2 spots and getting something else of value, it could be worthwhile. Anything else doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I don't want to see the Knicks go, we traded the 4 pick for the number 11 and 18 pick or something like that.
Right.
Something like, oh, we can get 2 mediocre players. That'll be great.
And a bad contract.
Yes. Steve Rogers writes, fun topics.
Do you know who Steve Rogers is? That's a comic book superhero name.
I don't know. Is this Superman? This Spider-Man's real identity and a different version of Spider-Man?
No, it's a major character.
Deadpool.
We did that last week.
I don't know who Steve Rogers is. How would I even know this?
Captain America.
Are all our fans like just huge comic book guys?
That's his real name, though. There's just
How do you know that? How do you know this is the guy's real name? Not like he Facebook IDs you.
I don't know. I think it would be really weird if you just decided I'm going to be Captain America's alter ego.
Yeah, why not? Okay, anyway, Captain America writes, fun topics. Favorite Knicks history books, and have the folks at MSG made an update to that City Game Knicks history video from the early 1990s.
Is there a Knicks history book?
I don't know what Knicks history book. How about We Still Have Insanity?
Yeah, that's
We'll always have Insanity. That's my favorite Knicks history book.
right. Written
By Robert Silverman, Jim Caven, and other people.
Seth Rosenthal, all been on the show.
Yes.
When I said we don't get real guests, I meant like NBA players. Those are like legitimate writers who are all very good.
William writes, 5-question max.
And then he writes 11 questions.
What the hell? William writes, I hope the Knicks don't suck deep like last season.
Okay, I see. So a lot of these aren't questions, so that's why.
William writes, and do the Nene and chill with big booty hoes twerking the wagon. I'm pretty sure we're out of order here. William writes, when will we have an official Knicks podcast meetup? If we make the playoffs next season, Knicks podcast fans need to meet up and watch the game.
Well, like I said,
I think
finals during the draft, so maybe beginning of next season we could all go to Clyde's or something.
Yes, I think next. By the way, Chicago is up by 8 points with 3 minutes to go. I think I'm totally down for a meetup next season. We'll have a lot more time. Jay will be closer to being done with his exams, for his classes. We will do a meetup, and we will meet William, and William will ask us 300 questions in person. William also writes, why is Mark so uncomfortable with the N-word? Is it because he's white or has white guilt? LOL. Yes, it is because I have white guilt. I used to own slaves. William writes, I hate when girls look at the bulge in my pants.
Okay.
William also writes, do Marc and Jay pop bottles on the club listening to R.I.P. by Jesse San?
Yes, that's why we didn't do the show. We were doing that last night.
I'm not sure I even know how to look up R.I.P. Jesse San. I looked it up. Play the music right now, Jay.
Okay.
I've not heard R.I.P. by Jesse San.
I have not either, actually. I don't know that song.
Is there a big thing like in the hip hop world that you have to spell your name like with the big the most ridiculous way possible?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. William writes, I hate what if and back in the time question. So stupid and irrelevant.
Is it Young Jeezy?
It says Jesse San.
Well, I can only find R.I.P. by Young Jeezy.
Yeah. What's up? Killed the club. Took the tone out the bottle, almost killed the thug. When I'm so high, I can't feel the truck.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Awesome. I like that. Let's play that for the rest of the episode. Rosera writes, Avengers Assemble. So hyped. This is what we play for.
Cool.
Rosera writes, are you excited for the new Avengers movie, Jay?
I am. Although I'm behind. I still have to watch Captain America 2 and Thor 2 first.
Do the storylines follow each other?
Yes.
You can't follow one of the movies because you didn't see the other one?
I can, but I'm way too OCD to do that.
Do they really have story arcs where you're like, you have to like, they give like, it's like a trilogy or something?
All the stories interconnect now.
Wonderful. Rosera writes, Derrick Rose interview. Mark is really tempting people to bring the Black Mandingo jokes back. Rosera writes, 4 questions limit. After he asked 300 questions. Gnome writes, if you could bring back any old Knicks logo, which one would you resurrect? I like the 68, 69 to 75, 76 alt logo.
I would tell you it would not be the 47 to 64 logo, which was a pirate I guess he's supposed to be a Patriot. I don't know what the hell he is. Benjamin Franklin dribbling a basketball.
That's what I'd bring back. Benjamin Franklin dribbling a basketball. That's my favorite one by far. I didn't even know about that until I just clicked on a link. That's unbelievable.
I can't believe that was a thing.
Wow. Let's bring it just like the Pelicans brought back the Pelicans. We should bring that crap back. Okay, I'm down for that one. Grant writes, now that the Clippers are on to the next round, will Woodson get emotional knowing that he might be able to see his son JR before the offseason if they play the Cavaliers?
Woodson looks like a maniac with glasses and just a mustache. He looks insane.
What will Woodson do if Cleveland and the Clippers play in the finals?
Same thing he always does. He just sits on the bench and steals people's chips.
That is amazing. I like Woodson so much better now that he did that. Lee writes, Sunday? So what's your take after Pacquiao's victory on and off the squared circle? Mayweather said Pacquiao was more smarter than he expected. Which, on the one hand, Mayweather didn't sound that smart by saying that. On the other hand, he did survive 12 rounds of being punched at. So I would probably screw up things also if I was being punched a lot.
Well, I mean, Mayweather's illiterate, so I don't expect him to know grammar.
Got $100 trillion, so he's I'd like to be illiterate like that.
Would you rather not being able to read and having $100 million, or being able to read and not having $100 million?
I'm going to go with being Mayweather.
Yes.
Ali writes, and also, why is Phil hell-bent on trading our pick? I would like us to develop our pick and watch him blossom into a good player or star one day. Is that too much to ask for? You know, the media makes it sound like, here's Phil Jackson on the phone with random GM from another team based on how the media portrays Phil. Hello, is this Jay? Are you a GM for a team?
I sure am a GM for a team.
I will give you our draft pick for anything. Just give me something, please. It's it's at least a top 5 draft pick. I will give you 2 for anything you have.
I will take your draft pick.
Just give me something back. Do you have an old broom you can give me?
I have a player on a long-term terrible contract.
How about the old broom?
Sure, I'll throw in the broom. You drive a hard bargain, though. I might need a second-round pick.
I am so good at this. I am Phil. Now I will go win 18 games this year. Hall of Fame, here I go. That's what the media makes it sound like Phil is.
Yeah.
Ali writes, Mayweather versus Pac reactions. WTF? Discuss, please. You know what I say to that? RME. Ali writes, Avengers Age of Ultron. George writes, as Knicks fans, your greatest playoff moment that you will never forget, one that you can always watch and it will always make you a fan.
Finally beating the Pacers.
I was going to say Amari punching the fire hydrant.
Only that was caught on tape.
Yeah, I mean, that was... I wish the Knicks had just won a title. Why can't one of my teams win a title?
I know.
Then I can say my favorite memory is them winning a title. All I have is the Mets winning in '86. I guess I have the Rangers, but I'm not a huge hockey fan.
I'm a Giants fan, so at least I got that.
Well, that's great. Good for you. Jesse writes, if you could sign any Knicks player from the last 30 years, not named Patrick Ewing, for $8 to $10 million for next year, who would it be? And George writes Bernard King, and then George writes Spree. I disagree with both those guys. I don't think Bernard King would play very well with Carmelo.
I'm not thinking about this about playing with Carmelo.
No, just do it with Carmelo. Let's say this Knicks team. Who are we going to add from the last 30 years for this Knicks team? I'll give you a hint. The player I would add does not think Carmelo is a star.
Yeah, Oakley would be a good one.
That would be add some goddamn toughness to the team.
Defense and rebounding.
Ooh, that would be nice.
He's my
who else would you add?
It would have to be him or Spree.
Spree was never he only shot 40%.
Really good defense.
Yeah, no, that'd be he wouldn't be a bad guy to add. You wouldn't add John Starks? I think he'd fit well in this team.
No, I would not add John Starks.
Melo, you shot 4 for 18. I shot 5 for 22. This is perfect. What about Mark Jackson?
He would be like a distant third, I guess.
What about Allen Houston?
No.
What about Eddie Curry?
Sure. That'll be half of what we paid him.
You still have to play. We are going long here, and we have a couple more questions. We're almost done, actually. Greg writes, I wonder why it's would love. And the headline is, Karl Anthony Towns would love to play for the Knicks.
If the Knicks were not picking 5th.
Yes, I guess that's what it comes down to. Greg writes, Mayweather-Pacquiao fight thoughts. I thought Manny won. That Max Kellerman is a jerk. You know, that guy that interviewed Pac-Man?
Did you see that interview?
What did he say to him?
He was such a dick.
Oh.
Pacquiao's like, I thought I won that fight. He's just like, why?
Oh, you know, I read the transcript. I didn't actually see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he didn't sound like a dick in the transcript.
It was. I was like,
why are people calling him a dick? He just asked him why he thought he won the fight.
No, he said it just like that. He's just like, why?
Oh,
why would you think that?
That makes so much more sense. 'Cause I was like, why are they calling me? Like the guy lost the fight. I don't understand. Like, of course you can ask him why.
No, it was the most condescending interview I think I've ever seen.
That's pretty funny. I heard they're gonna have a rematch in September.
No, they're not.
Or Mayweather says he's gonna fight again. So
yeah, he's fighting again. It was in the contract was if Mayweather wins, there's no rematch, and if Pacquiao wins, there's an immediate rematch.
Right, but I think Mayweather they're gonna have a rematch anyway.
No, Mayweather's fighting some other guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they already say that, or you're just guessing?
He said he's giving up all his belts today. There's like 5 of them, and then he's gonna fight one more time in September just because he already agreed to it, and then he's retiring.
Oh, whatever. It makes you like happy you never followed boxing, right? Like, you're almost like, you after seeing that, you're like, oh, I'm glad I'm not really a boxing fan.
Yeah, I followed boxing in like the 90s, and then there was so much shady reffing going on, I just stopped, and I'm really glad I did because it's such a mess right now.
Well, they were saying this is was the biggest fight since Ali Frazier. What do you think was bigger, this or Tyson Holyfield? Forget dollar amount.
I mean, it's hard to tell because there was no internet back then, so I don't know how it would have blown up.
I feel like the Tyson Holyfield fight was much bigger. Not much bigger. I mean, obviously, this is a pretty big fight. But I feel like that was a more, like, people were more into that fight than this fight.
I think so, too. This was more like a bunch of people who hadn't watched boxing in 5 years all decided to, like, come back and just watch this fight, whereas back then people were, like, legitimately into both of those fighters.
I mean, here's the thing. You watched the fight. I didn't want to pay $100, and I didn't realize you got to stream it online for free. But you watched the fight. When the bell rang for the first round, were you like, holy shit, they're actually going to fight?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because I remember watching Tyson Holyfield, and I remember the bell rang, and I was like, holy shit, they're actually going to fight. I can't believe this is actually happening.
Yeah, yeah.
I was also like 12.
That's
so.
a good point.
That's why I feel like that was just like a, wow, they're actually going at it.
Yeah, I just went on Twitter, and I said it would be really cool if somebody sent me a link to the fight, and a bunch of links came in.
That's pretty cool. 6 points with 9 seconds to go. Oh, and Cleveland shoots, and they miss. And the Bulls are going to win.
Good.
4 seconds to go, and Bulls are up by 6, and they're about to shoot some free throws. And Gasol is on the bench because they've already won the game.
Excellent.
And also they needed defense, so he's on the bench. Greg writes, you agree with Skipper? And Skip Bayless says, what a screw job on the final play. Home cooking buzzer goes off, showing clips what the play was. Spurs were going to run. Just outrageous.
I am marking this day on the calendar because this is the first time I've ever agreed with Skip Bayless.
Do you know how, like, if that happened to the Knicks, we would spend the entire show, it would be like a 3-part episode of us just screaming about that.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how mad I would be.
But since it happened to the Spurs, whatever. You win 50 games a year. You're in the finals every other year. Who cares? You got screwed once. Rosero writes, where is the episode? Many thanks, Marc and Jay, for the rune ing, my commute, LOL, SMH, but still LOL.
Well,
Should you only say LOL in response to someone else's comment? Shouldn't you not say your own LOL? It's like laughing at your own damn joke. Rosario writes, the Clippers versus the Spurs was a hell of a game. If the Knicks would have been in the same situation, would have been of the greatest games ever.
For us, yes.
Yes. Of course, if the Knicks were in that situation, they would have been down by a lot of points. And they were like, this is bullshit. You saw our last play. If we got our last play off, we would have been only down by 20. Rosario writes, Mayweather-Pac fight thoughts. It's like this is a boxing podcast. And what a boring bullshit fight. $110 for that SMFH. Did any of our fans pay for this? I hope not.
I hope not. You could have just went on Twitter and asked for a link, apparently.
Do you think if there's a rematch, anyone would pay to see it?
Yeah.
I know people would, but like it has to be
wouldn't
like
nearly
cut
as
in
big.
half.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, everyone's like on the radio, they're like, yeah, the fight kind of sucked, but it was exactly what you should have expected if you knew anything about these two boxers.
Right, that's their fighting style. So
Yeah.
neither of them has had a knockout in about 6 or 7 years.
Like, shouldn't you like just lose the title if you don't knock people out?
I mean, they got to redo that whole point system. The fight should be like playoff hockey, where it just goes on forever until somebody actually legitimately wins. You know what I mean?
No, it should be like the Olympics, where whoever
Olympics
pays the
even
judge
worse.
the most money wins.
I was gonna say Olympics is even worse with that tapping the guy and scoring points.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a French
agree
guy
with
like just running away and like tapping a guy, and he kept racking up points. It was ridiculous.
I mean, basically, the problem is that boxing is probably like it's a little bit too barbaric of a sport. I don't know what barbaric is, but barbaric of a sport. And so we're like, we want to make have these rules for points because we don't want to just say, like, 2 men enter, only one shall leave.
Yeah,
that is boxing.
We don't want it to be like
that's kind of what we want to see, though.
Yeah, that's why UFC is gaining popularity.
Yeah, because at least like it's not like they don't hit each other.
Right.
Could you imagine has to go to overtime? You will fight until the 28th round until you knock one of you out.
The original UFC did that. There was no rounds. There was no time limit. The fight would go on for like 40 minutes if both guys were still standing. It was awesome.
Gillum writes, the more I look at draft prospects, the more I like Justice Winslow. Athletic wings player, similar to Leonard, can defend multiple positions, even played power forward at Duke, shot 41% from free, and has been improving all year. Hard worker seems perfect for the famous change of culture and would complement Melo in the way Draymond Green would. Seems he will be picked between 5 and 7. Would you exchange picks, getting something extra in return for him if we have a top 3 pick? First off, if we trade picks, he will go right before us. That will be definitely what will happen. Would you? So let's just say the picks are already drafted. Would you make the trade?
Not if it's Towns.
I feel like it's Towns, then Okafor, then maybe Russell. But I wouldn't mind this guy at all. Winslow looked pretty damn good during the tournament.
I would trade Moutier for Winslow.
I would just draft Winslow over Moutier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sold on Moutier.
I'm not either.
But I would like Winslow. I would be very happy. So if we draft 5th and we get Winslow, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. Then we could watch Porzingis turn into an all-star.
Oh, like what country he even plays in. Why didn't no one call you out on that in the comments? Gillum writes, why does it seem nobody wants Greg Monroe? Yes, he plays similar to Melo, but he is good value for what is available through free agency, considering his age and would fit in the system. By the way, do you think we'll try again to play the triangle next season? I see him as a poor man. Pau Gasol can pass, can score with the back to the basket, is intelligent, not that good a rebounder. If he could improve his mid-range jumper, would be much more effective. Thoughts?
He's not that good of a rebounder. He's not that good of a defender, and he's bad at free throws. Exactly what you wanted a big man.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wants a max contract.
Yeah, I just don't love the idea. Even on a good deal, I'd rather just use the money for guys that play defense. Mm-hmm. I want to go all 90s with this team. I want the only guy that doesn't play defense to be Carmelo. And maybe Carmelo could be shamed into playing defense.
I mean, look at the teams in the playoffs right now. They're the best defensive teams.
That's why we need more guys to play the same position and only do offense. Do you think we're going to run the triangle next season?
I think we'll do like half-half.
It'll be like a hybrid triangle.
Yeah.
Whatever Derek Fisher's been doing the last 20 games, that's what they'll keep doing. Which I don't know. Gillum writes, will Tanissis Akatupukutuputu be the Knicks roster next season?
That's the way they should say it on TV.
Akatupukutuputu be in the Knicks roster next season.
Yes,
Have you seen him play any game for the Westchester Knicks? Could he develop something similar to Tony Allen?
I've seen some highlight clips. I haven't seen an actual game. He will be on the team, and I'm really hoping he could be that good defensively.
I think he'll be a plus defender. The really question will be his offense comes around.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, but I feel like he could Tony Allen, like a defensive specialist kind of guy. You think?
Yeah, why not?
Sure, why not? I will make a prediction that he wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Bold.
Bold. I'm not saying what year or what league. Gillum writes, who is most likely to not match? Warriors with Green or Bulls with Butler? Good question.
Bulls with Butler.
I would say they're pretty... Yeah, I would say basically because they're all in on Rose. So
that and the owner's cheap. So if he looks at his books and sees he's going to go over, he may flinch. I think the Warriors are in let's build a dynasty mode.
But how can they... Here's the thing. Curry gets max, right?
Mm-hmm.
Clay gets max.
Just about, yeah.
So that's two guys a max, plus Green, and you're going to have to afford an entire roster.
Well, you got Lee falling off.
What'd you say?
You got Lee falling off, so that's Green's money.
I don't understand how you stay within the cap.
They're gonna go over.
Right, but I guess the stupid never mind.
The hard cap. They'll go over the soft cap. They won't go over the hard cap.
The stupid rules where you're like, oh well, it's a hard cap unless you want to spend $40 million over, then it's totally cool.
The thing is, if they're already on the team, you could go over.
No, you're right. So it's just like it should be. That's the one thing I'd say about the NFL. At least they have the hard cap, so like teams are forced to make. It's just so ridiculous how you can like go one team plays for $60 million, another team plays for $100 million, and it's a cap. At least baseball goes one team plays for $60 million, another team plays for $200 million, but we don't give a shit about competitiveness.
Yeah.
Gillum writes, as in just one off season, is it impossible to find 4 two-way players? I assume Melo will never be. Do you prefer the 4 players to complement Melo or to be more defensive or offensive? Do you prefer the 4 players to complement Melo to be more defensive or offensive? So would you rather have, obviously you want defensive players.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did we learn today, Jay?
We learned that the Clippers are about to lose because they're starting Austin Rivers tonight.
Wow. That sucks. No offense, Austin Rivers, but that sucks.
It's a little bit of a downgrade.
Little bit. That's like instead of the Clippers showing up for the game, the Knicks show up.
Right. What else did we learn? We learned that
a lot of Knicks fans care a lot about Mayweather-Pacquiao.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised about that.
Who would be the better basketball player?
I would say Manny. He's quick, and he seems like he has really good stamina.
Mayweather, because he's quick and he seems to know how to play within the rules to his advantage. As you said, he'd be the James Harden of the NBA.
There you go.
I guess the James Harden of the NBA doesn't sound right. I guess wouldn't it make more sense if I said he's the James Harden of boxing?
I think, Harden is the Mayweather of basketball.
Okay. What did we learn today? We learned that
we learned a new way to say Akitempoonko's name.
Akitempoonko. It's fun to say.
Yeah.
Tanisha's Akitempoonko. I hope with the 3. Akitempoonko. That'd be culinarity with the 3.
We are NY Knicks Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter.
Where's the Instagram question, dude?
It was actually for Brink. The New York Knicks Podcast.com is the website.
You lie. Brink did not get a real question.
NY Knicks, it did. NY Knicks Podcast at gmail.com. We haven't asked for iTunes reviews in a while, and nobody's given any. So,
if you're giving your iTunes reviews in other countries, they're on. We don't know about them. We don't get to see them. So if you write a review for another country's iTunes, email us that review. So at least we can read it on the air.
Right.
Because we have no access to it. And so if you write a review on iTunes, say Australia, we won't know about it, and then it won't get read. So.
And if you want to leave a voicemail, it's 631-676-1181.
If you want to give Jay's phone number out to more telemarketer recordings, that would be hilarious.
I only got 2 today. I really did.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. Anyway, and we also learned that Cleveland lost. Yay!
Okay, that's it. We're done.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll try and do it on time so we don't get berated by everybody.
Yeah, you don't want to get fired, do you?
I know, seriously. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Everybody.
Cabela's is coming to Northern Virginia with a spectacular new store in Gainesville. Find everything you need for hunting, fishing, camping, and shooting sports, plus much more. Join us for our grand opening celebration Thursday, March 9th at 10 a.m. Be one of the first 500 in line and receive a Cabela's gift card worth up to $500. Plus, a chance to win one of 3 Remington firearms. See store for details. Don't miss Cabela's grand opening in Gainesville, located off I-66 and Highway 29 near Virginia Gateway.